Hi. Good morning,
Hello.
everybody.
Morning, everybody. How are we doing?
Yeah, happy December, man. I can't believe it's already almost Christmas.
Oh, yeah. 2018 is coming to an end. I can't believe it. It's
What
been
a
the
time.
craziest year.
Like you blink and it's over.
So fast. It seems to happen every year, but this one really flew by in a crazy way. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go into 2019 and start something new and get going. So yeah, end on a bang with December for sure.
Exactly.
How are
Yes.
you doing? You sound a little under the weather.
I am. We're having rain. It's cold. So I'm like, I have my scarf on. I'm inside wearing a scarf, but yeah, I'm trying to take my vitamins, get my sleep, and try to fight what's going on right now. I'm kind of waking up with a little bit of little blues in the morning right now.
Yeah, yeah, it's no fun. Well, I'm sorry. I hope you get better soon.
Thank you. Thank you. But how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic, actually. I feel really good. Yeah, I've just physically been feeling great, very stimulated, very excited about what's happening. Overall, very good. And I'm excited about today, obviously. So
Yes.
yeah, we had a great Thanksgiving too. My family came here. We hosted. It's been a couple weeks since we had a podcast, but it was awesome. Brenda and I kind of took control and did the turkey and the sides and all that. And my parents came over. My brother brought some stuff. And we just had a nice little meal. We love hosting. We also had a Friendsgiving. We had a bunch of friends come over, like 3 days before, and everyone brought good, healthy food, and it was just awesome. Good community that we
Yeah,
have.
that sounds amazing. I'm sure it was all healthy, good options too.
Yeah, there was a few things in there. Some people brought some stuff that wasn't quite on the healthiest list, but it's fine. It's all good. But it was a great time. So.
Now, what's your favorite side dish or what's your favorite thing of Thanksgiving that you have to eat?
So usually something to do with sweet potatoes is the
Yeah.
favorite side dish. I mean, Brenda always does this like sweet potato casserole thing. I don't know, whatever. It's just amazing. It's so good. I love sweet potatoes. If I was stuck on an island, like if you only have one food the rest of your life, it would be sweet potatoes. Particularly the Japanese yam. It's like the best. If you haven't tried it yet, it's amazing. So there was that, and then Brenda made an avocado chocolate cake or something. It was amazing. It was unreal. It was paleo, like it had nothing but dates in there to sweeten it. And I think like some almond crust or something, but it was gone like in a day. And I ate 3 pieces. My brother ate 3 pieces. It was just, and we had two of them. It didn't last long. Like we just tore it up. So it was so good. Yeah. Yeah. So it's actually funny because I ate so much on Thanksgiving. I just had one meal that day. I didn't eat dinner like later at night. And then I didn't eat again for the next 3 days. So I fasted, which is very appropriate for kind
Right.
of what we'll be talking about here. But yeah, overall it was great. I loved it. So
Good. Good. That sounds amazing. And I want that recipe from Brenda.
yeah, just hit her up. Just hit her up. I think it's on the Paleo Secret website under recipes. You can just enter like chocolate pie or something. You can probably find it. Yeah, it's one we had up a long time ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, but we keep using it every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. It's so good.
Oh, okay. That's on my list to make now.
Yeah. So as I mentioned today, I want to talk about the beginner's guide to fasting and kind of how it works. I'll be talking about what fasting is, what it isn't, the benefits, who should do it, the different ways to do it, and how to start making it work immediately for you. So I'm super excited about that because I've been fasting a long time and learned a lot about it and worked with a lot of people on it. I think it can help a lot of people here and just improve their health and longevity and energy and all that. So we'll be getting into all that. But first, we have a super exciting announcement. So very soon, as in today, we're going to be changing the name of this private Facebook group from Paleo Secret private community to the Native Path community.
Yeah.
And most of you heard that name, Native Path. You've probably seen on many of the supplements that we promote. They have Native Path on the label. That's our label. We own that label. And we feel very good about that name, Native Path. It's something that, for one, it's our own. Like it's Native Path. It's our own. We came up with it. It's our own thing, and it's not borrowed from the paleo movement. We love the paleo movement. We will always be a part of it. Those principles, everything we've learned with the paleo movement, as far as getting rid of toxic foods and eating more in alignment with our ancestors ate, that's really the foundation of what will always be our principles with Native Path. But we just want to create our own movement, our own Native Path movement, and be our own brand and help people to fall in love with that brand, and we love it. And to me, native path is very much the path in and of itself is what this is all about, right? We want to provide a way for people to transform their lives and get back to things like responsibility, independence, radiant health, energy. And that involves learning from some of the principles that we as humans are designed for, and learning from our native ancestors. And that's one of the main reasons I went to go live with native people earlier this year, so I can be a part of that and feel it and understand things about community, which is a big part of what this thing is. This is what makes us different from just a paleo movement or that name, is that we provide a big community, and that's really the foundation of why I think a lot of people succeed in this 30-day program, is because they come in and they have all this amazing support. And we're just a big tribe where everyone's helping each other out, sharing recipes, sharing ideas, sharing failures, really inspiring each other and patting each other on the back and saying it's gonna be okay. And, doing these Facebook Lives where we can interact more closely and intimately and talk to people. So that name, Native Path, to us really means a lot. And we're excited about that. So, what this also means is we're going to invite more people into the community. So we have these 30-day programs. Paleo Secret 30-day challenge is our main one, but very soon we're coming out with another one called Native Body Reset. This is kind of the 30-day challenge upgrade. It's a whole new book. It has zillions of recipes, and it's kind of everything we learned about what we could have done better in the 30-day challenge and put it all in this program. So that's going to be a home base, this community. And we also have our 30-day fix keto program, which is essentially a lot like the 30-day secret 30-day challenge, just more geared towards a low carb approach and getting people more into like a ketogenic state. And we talk a lot about the differences there, but it'll be a home for that. And it'll also be a home for any of our customers who purchase our supplements. So if they purchase collagen or krill or probiotics, we want to provide a community for those people as well. And this community will keep expanding. It will keep growing. And our goal is really to help individuals transform their lives through this community, but also at the same time contribute to the collective transformation of the globe. Because that's what we see. We see an old way where everyone was unhealthy and sick, and a lot of that comes from my working in the conventional healthcare system and going in people's homes and seeing a system that's treating symptoms and not getting to the root of the problem. And we want to take people out of that and then give them a path and to help transform their lives by eating better, sleeping better, being in a community, being happy, being creative, and getting back to who they are. Ultimately, that's what this is remembering who you are and being that, and having the healthiest, happiest human experience you can possibly have. So yeah, just wanted to make that announcement here. We'll try to do a post also to just let everybody know, but really hope that everybody is on board with this and understands why we're doing it. It does make us distinct and different, and we're super excited about it. And my vision is to have like Native Path shirts and Native Path cups and put your collagen in the cup, and everybody's just happy. And we, just a new brand and a new way of kind of doing things in terms of how we live our life, and we'll continue to grow and expand. So yeah, please leave any questions, but that's the big exciting announcement, and I'll make another written announcement about it later.
Very exciting. Our family is growing, so it's always exciting to see that.
Yeah, it's really cool. We have, I think, almost 22,000 people in the private group right now. So yeah, we want to get that up. I love seeing like before and after pictures where there's like 300, 400 likes. I mean, that's just like, please keep posting your before and after pictures, because that's so inspiring to so many people. I mean, just imagine the person who comes in for the first time, who's tried so many things in the past and it's failed. Right. And you show your before and after picture, and you immediately inspire them and present to them a possibility, and you give them permission to have their own transformation. Right. So that's really the power of that community that we've seen, that we want to make our own. So we're super excited about that. And yeah, if you have any questions about anything in regards to that, just please put it in this post here, and we're happy to answer any questions for you. So
very exciting. I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome. I'm excited too. So let's talk about today's topic, which I mentioned I'm super excited to talk about, is fasting. So fasting is something that I personally have been doing for probably 7 years now. And I've tried all kinds of fast, and I'll talk about what those are. Everything from like intermittent fasting to 24-hour fast to 3-day, 5-day fast, and different types of fast within those things, like water only. There's periods of dry fasting and things like that. So we'll talk all about that. But so what fasting basically is first of all, it's not starvation.
Right.
That's not what fasting is. Starvation is when there's no control. You have no food, you have no choice. There's starving children in the world, there's starving people in the world. That's not what fasting is, right? So fasting is a choice, and it's a controlled environment where there's food there, but you're choosing not to eat it. So it's a more controlled way of doing things, and it's done for spiritual reasons. It's they talk a lot about it in our ancient scriptures in the Bible. Many religions, they practice fasting on a regular basis, but it's also done for health reasons, and it can be done for performance reasons as well. But the key distinction is not starvation. A lot of people, I think, they hear fasting and they think, I'm going to lose my muscle mass and be weak. And I can promise you that is not the case. I'm stronger now at 40 years old than I've ever been. I feel amazing. I think a lot of it has to do with fasting and many of the benefits that go into it. So, but fasting seems to be kind of reemerging. A lot of people are talking about it now, especially since kind of this paleo ancestral movement has come back into our awareness, and we're asking questions like, what are we designed for? Our ancestors did not eat 3 square meals a day. They didn't wake up and have breakfast, and then 12 o'clock there was a bell that rang off, and then had the lunch and then dinner. It wasn't like that. Right. I mean, they would go periods where there would be infrequent periods of maybe not eating at all. They would go hunt and gather, and there might be food, there might not. So they could go extended periods without eating. And it's a very natural part of being a human. And fasting really is just any time you're not eating. When you go to bed, that's a period where you're fasting, and you wake up the next morning, you have breakfast, and it's called breakfast, breakfast, because you break your fast, right? So all we're doing with intermittent fasting and getting started with this is extending that a little bit and seeing what kind of can happen there and reaping the benefits, right? So it's not starvation. It's very normal. Humans have been doing it for thousands and thousands of years, since time immemorial, and it can help you in a big way. So let's get started and talk about how it works for a bit. So essentially, fasting is this ideally, it's done with this balance between eating and then fasting. You eat for a period and you fast for a period, and different things happen when you're eating. Right? So when you eat food, you naturally increase insulin levels. That's a hormone that releases glucose into the bloodstream, right? And when that happens, that glucose via that insulin stores sugar in the liver, right? That's in the form of glycogen, right? And that's a limited amount of sugar that can be stored in that liver. And once that's filled up, then your body stores that excess sugar in fat, and it can happen all over the body. It's a process called de novo lipogenesis, right? So that's essentially what happens when we eat. And insulin rises, we store that excess glucose energy in the liver and then the body as fat. And when we do the opposite, when we fast, we decrease insulin levels, we burn that stored fat and burn that stored sugar. We first take up all the glycogen in the liver, and then we start going outside of that and burning all the fat in the body. So the glycogen gets burned up anywhere from like 24 to 36 hours. And after that is when we start burning fat all over the body, right? And that's also the state where most people hit ketosis, right? So it's one of the easiest ways you can get into ketosis very, very fast is just to not eat for like 24 hours. Like you'll immediately be there, right? So it's just a simple matter of having balance between those two things right there, right? So it's a very natural thing that we can do. Some of the benefits of fasting, there's a ton of benefits. So weight loss is probably the easiest thing that people are looking for and the most apparent one with intermittent fasting. I personally, I'm still around 10% body fat, 40 years old. It's very easy for me to maintain that when I consistently intermittent fast. But you also get improvements in mental clarity and concentration. You can lower your blood insulin and sugar levels. You can reverse type 2 diabetes fairly easily. You can increase energy. You can improve your fat burning potential, improve growth hormone, lower your cholesterol levels naturally. It also has a significant benefit or potential to lower your risk for Alzheimer's, extend your life. There's a lot of research being done with fasting and longevity. It activates cellular cleansing potentially this is something that is stimulated by autophagy, and it also reduces inflammation. And in general, I'd say just another great thing about fasting is that it's easy. Like it's like you save a lot of time and you save a lot of money,
Right.
Because you don't have to purchase as much food. You don't have to cook food. There's no dishes to do. Like it's a thing that kind of works in the modern day lifestyle fairly easily.
Right.
And then there's different ways to do it.
I think
Right. So
really quickly, I think your speaker, it keeps making a lot of noise.
oh no.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
like
better?
yeah, it's making like a noise.
Oh, maybe because I'm moving around.
Oh.
Oh no. maybe I'll. Is it still doing it right now?
No, now I don't hear it anymore.
Okay, maybe I'll just lean forward like this, and there'll be less noise.
Perfect.
Okay. If it does it again, just let me know, and I'll take off the earphones.
Okay.
So different ways to do a fast. As I mentioned, everyone is fasting all the time, right? When they're not eating, it's a natural way of doing it, right? You're not eating, and you're fasting for a good, maybe 8 to 10 hours when you're sleeping, right? So the next stage would be to do like a 16-8 window fast. So that means you only eat within an 8-hour window, and 16 hours you would not eat. So that's really just simply as skipping breakfast, right? And you could have your first meal of the day at around 11 a.m. and don't eat after 7 a.m. Or you could do your first meal at noon and not eat after 8 a.m. This is something I do every single day. Like I haven't had breakfast in years. I mean, unless someone like cooks it for me or something like that. But typically I never have breakfast. I always have my first meal after I work out, and it's usually around like 12 or 1 o'clock, and I eat dinner around like 6 o'clock. So that's a 16-8 fast. And then from there you could extend that. You could do a 24 fast. So you eat only in a 4-hour window, you say from like 3 to 7, and then you have 20 hours where you don't eat. And you could do longer fasts, like a 24-hour fast would be where something like you have dinner and you don't eat again until dinner the next day. A 5-2 fast is something that has become pretty popular as well, where you eat normally for 5 days, and then for 2 straight days, you either don't eat or have no more than, say, 500 calories. So that's another thing to do. And then there's a 36-hour fast where you would have dinner and then not eat again the next day, and then have breakfast the next day. So it's a 36-hour fast. And then you have extended fast. These are longer periods of time. You could go 3 days, like not have dinner on Tuesday evening and not eat again until like Sunday evening. Or you could go 5 days, right? So there's lots of different ways to do it. And you could even go up to, say, 15 days, but you should never do anything like that without medical supervision. Actually, I wouldn't even say, do 5 days without medical supervision. It kind of takes a while to build up to this stuff, right? So I mentioned a lot of those benefits. Another huge benefit is that it gives digestion a rest, right? A lot of the times people just have this belly bloat and food in their intestines that is not getting broken down because they're consistently feeding it all the time. And it kind of just gets backed up, right? When you give the digestive system a rest, you allow your body to break down all those food particles and absorb it. And then when you do start eating again, you tend to absorb that food that you do eat so much better. Every time I fast and I start eating again, I feel like I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm quicker, I'm more clear, right? So what I've been talking about so far is all like typically a water fast where you just have water, right? But you could also do a fast where you do add, it's okay to have coffee and it's okay to have tea. These are different variations, but you're doing the fasting for different reasons. So it can be very painful for people to get off coffee. So if you wanted to start fasting without getting off coffee, you can do that. You would just have black coffee, right? Or you could have black tea with caffeine. But I would also encourage you to get off coffee every now and then, just to reduce your dependency on caffeine for energy and start getting natural energy on your own. So how's that all sound? You have any questions about that?
I do, because I know a lot of the members come up with questions about fasting and when you actually have your bulletproof coffee or your water in the morning, you keep your fast. And I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about that because, like you said, there's different types of fasting, whether you just have some liquids or true fasting and you don't have anything at all. So that's what comes up a lot is, if I do have my bulletproof coffee or water, will I still be fasting?
You will not be fasting because you'll still be getting energy, right? You'll still be bringing in fat as energy. And the idea really is to strip all that away. Having said that, you are doing some form of a caloric restricted fast, right? Because you are taking in less calories and you are naturally eating less food if that's all you're having, right? But if you're going to do like a true fast, I would suggest not having the bulletproof coffee, right? Having said that, I'm still a fan of the bulletproof coffee early on for people when they're coming from the context of that standard American diet where they're so used to having sugar, sugar, sugar for breakfast. The bulletproof coffee is one of the best ways to, just fasting aside, is to get yourself out of that sugar dependency early on and then start getting more fat in your body early in the morning. So you're less likely to depend on sugar and therefore have cravings and eat throughout the day. So most people who have that bulletproof coffee in the morning naturally notice that they can go a longer period without eating, right? And that's a natural way. They have less calories, so they naturally lose weight on that. But on that note, like what I don't suggest is like, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil in your coffee, and then like having a big breakfast with like a lot of bacon, and then that's just way too much. A lot of times when you have that much fat, you can't break it all down too much, right? It's too much in the morning. So really be gentle with the bulletproof coffee. 1 teaspoon of butter, 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, put in some collagen, but that's not what we're referring to when we say fasting.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
I see that question pop up a lot. In addition to, if you're on the challenge, should you be fasting? That's another question that pops up a lot.
Yeah, so that's a good segue into the next question about who should not be fasting, right? So the people who should not be fasting are the people who are making radical lifestyle changes, right? So if people are coming from that standard American diet, eating grains and sodas and fast food, to go from that to fasting is not a good idea, right? Because it's way too much stress. So having said that, if you're going through a tough time in your life, if you're having financial struggles, relationship struggles, you're moving, you're doing anything chaotic, like that's not the time in your life to start fasting right now, because it's way too much stress in the body. Going back to the person who's been on a standard American diet, if they're coming from that standpoint of depending on sugar as a fuel source, and then they try to fast, it can wreck them, right? If they're having adrenal problems, it can be way too much. If they're highly dependent on caffeine for fuel, it can be way too much. So the general idea here is that you need to be somebody who has a low stress level in their life and healthy. And I would suggest already have done something like a 30-day challenge where you're eating whole real food and you're getting your carbohydrates from things like vegetables and a little bit of fruit and tubers rather than refined carbohydrates and easily digestible, high blood sugar spiking things like grains, right?
Yeah.
So get metabolic flexibility first, right? Learn how to use fat as fuel first, and it'll make your experience with fasting so much easier. And the other reason is you won't have these big blood sugar drops, right? If you're dependent on carbohydrates for fuel, you will have this big drop in your blood sugar, and fasting will just be like, oh, I've got nothing. But what you'll find is over time, when you improve that metabolic flexibility, go towards more of an ancestral-based whole food diet, your time when you can go without eating, without having a problem at all, will increase. So like me in my own life, I remember the first time I skipped breakfast, I was like, oh gosh, this is crazy. I was like, what am I doing? And then I tried then I tried like a 24-hour fast, and that was hard. But over time it got really easy, and then I started doing 3-day fast at the beginning of every month, right? And that was really hard at first, and it got easy, and now like a 5-day fast is not that hard for me. It just takes time, but like you've got to wean into this stuff very easily. So some more people who it might not be appropriate for, people who are extremely overweight, who may have a body mass index of less than 18.5, like that. Like if you're kind of anorexic, that's not good, right? You shouldn't be fasting, and we don't want to do this for those type of reasons anyway. If you have some sort of issue with food or anything like that, get that squared away first. Oh,
it's doing it again.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's just making a lot of side notes.
Yeah. I'll just do this.
Okay.
How about that?
Perfect. No more.
Okay. If you're pregnant, you're not someone who should be fasting, right? Because you need those extra nutrients for your child. Same goes for if you're breastfeeding. You need those nutrients for your child. And same goes if you're under the age of 18. Really, it's best to just develop fully as a human before you
Yeah.
ever start to do anything like that. Um, you can do fasting if you have diabetes, type 1 or type 2, but it should be done under medical supervision. You
Right.
can do fasting if you're taking a prescription medication, but it should also be done under supervision. And you can do it if you have gout or uric acid, but it should also be done under supervision. Some other things to think about is that a common question is, can you exercise when you fast?
Right.
And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
But I would say the type of exercise you do is important, right? So when you're fasting, it's not the time to do any hard, intense, like CrossFit class where you're just
Right.
really huffy puffy, or any spin class or anything like that, or Orange Theory Fitness or anything like that. Just the exercise that you do should be more low level, like lifting, mobility
Mm.
based, like lots of walking are great things to do when you're fasting. And then there's the side effects, right? Because there
Yeah.
definitely are some side effects, and you'll notice these early on. So, big one, if you're getting off caffeine, is you're going to have a huge headache. Have you ever tried
Yeah.
getting off? Do you drink coffee every day?
Yes.
Yeah,
I I used to drink coffee every day, and now I'm having tea. But yeah, when I started going off of coffee, I would get the headaches. I
yeah,
couldn't focus. Like it took a while for my body to wean off of it.
yeah. Are you not doing coffee at all now?
I'm trying not to do coffee at all.
Good
I'm
for
trying
you.
to only stick to green tea and like herbal teas throughout the day.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, so that's something a lot of people experience
Yeah.
that first day. You can expect some people have constipation as well because
Mm.
um, you're not putting food in, so food just naturally sometimes doesn't come out. But if you give it
Right.
time, that food will break down on its own.
Right.
But like I mentioned, headaches are completely normal, and
Mm.
so situations like that, it's just best to drink a lot of water and put a
Right.
little salt in there, so you get some minerals. People experience dizziness, sometimes heartburn, sometimes muscle cramps. Many of those things are signs of toxins just leaving your body, right? And your body transitioning towards burning fat, and it's just a natural part of the process. Um, when you're hungry, the best thing to do is just keep drinking water, and know that
Right.
that hunger will pass. Typically, people who are doing fasting for 3 days, it's like the first and second day are the worst, and the third day is like a piece of cake. Like you hit
Yeah.
this zone, and there's no problem after that. But if you're just doing a intermittent 16 8-hour fast, it's just best to just keep drinking water, stay busy, right?
Right.
Some of the top tips, like I mentioned, drink water, stay busy. If you're okay, if you want to do a fast with coffee or tea, that's totally cool. It's going to be a lot easier, so go for it if it's your first time, I'd say. And really ride out the hunger waves. I would say don't tell anybody what you're doing.
Yeah.
People may not be supportive because a lot of people can call you crazy and say you're going to starve yourself, and they don't
Right.
understand what's going on. So really kind of keep that personal and don't tell too many people. And like I mentioned, it's best to go through at least a 30-day period
Right.
when you're doing a low carb diet, or really a whole food paleo diet, and get settled. Find a time when you're not as stressed and you can do this on an easy basis. I would also suggest um, starting to try it on the weekends
Mhm.
rather than during the week, right? So if
Right.
you're someone who's working a lot and at the keyboard, it's going to be more simple for you if you're at home in your own environment and you're not being asked to do a lot of things. Stay busy, clean the house, do laundry or whatever, but like it's best to do it during the weekend. You'll have a lot better time.
Right.
Then there's the how you break a fast. One thing you don't want to do after you fast for any period is to have a huge meal and make up
Yeah.
all the calories in one meal, because
Right.
your stomach will get extended and you won't absorb all that food, and like you'll be very constipated. So you want to eat less food for sure on
Right.
that first fast. Don't think about eating so much food. And I would also suggest that your food is more, I'd say, vegetable based, and not so like dense and heavy meats like red
Yeah.
meats or chicken or anything like that. Best to have like a soup or a broth and like a salad. Something like that is the best way to break a fast. And just know you don't have to have breakfast every morning. I'd say
Right.
the easiest place to start is, if people are interested, here's how I would do it. I would pick one day of the week on the weekend and skip breakfast, like on a Saturday morning, and just see how that feels.
Right.
And just go with it. And if it feels good, try it again next week, or try it again on a day during the week when it's not too stressful for you.
Yeah.
And you can kind of expand that. So you can do 2 days a week, 3 days a week, see how that works. And then I would suggest if you have that under control, you feel comfortable, then try a 24-hour fast
Mm.
where you have dinner on Friday and you don't have food again until dinner on Saturday, and just see how that goes. There's a fantastic documentary I highly recommend people watch called The Science of Fasting on Netflix. There's a
Okay.
clinic in Russia where people will go and live with at this clinic under medical supervision and do 15-day fast, right? Very long time. And all they'll have during the day is just water. And at the end of the day, they'll have broth. And it's amazing what can happen to your body with fasting in terms of reducing your risk for heart disease.
Right.
Many people have profound benefits with cancer,
Yeah.
reducing your risk for Alzheimer's. I actually met somebody who went to this clinic once. I
Really.
went on a retreat and I met him, and he was telling me he goes every year, right? And he did a 15-day fast every single year. He
Yeah.
said the first time he did it, he's gone probably like 10 times now. So the
Wow.
first time he did it, he walked in with glasses, and
Hmm.
because he couldn't see without his glasses at all. And he
Yeah.
did that 15-day fast, put his glasses down, saw fine, has never used his glasses again. Like there's
No.
amazing cellular repair that happens when we fast.
That's incredible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really cool. They do it in a very extreme way at that clinic, though. I'll say because they do. They have a recommendation. They say you should fast for the first month of every year, the
Mm.
first week of every month, the first
Wow.
day of every week. Right. So that's kind of their standard protocol and how they do it.
Yeah.
But it's something I highly recommend for people to try out for the health benefits, for the cognition benefits, for the performance benefits. Also reducing any unwanted fat you might have. This is like the next step on what you want to try, just to give it a shot. And yes,
When,
women can fast.
yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Because I remember I said this story before. I remember when I first started working out, I was like, I can't do anything without food. I have to eat before I work out. And I always told myself that. And then when I would work out, I'd be like, I have the shakes. I have to eat something. And then the more I changed my diet, the more I transitioned, I realized, no, I don't need to. So now I'm like, I can't eat it all before I work out. Like if I'm going to do it. So the best thing I like to do is get up in the morning and then go do my workout, and then I eat later on, because now I have this whole routine where I can't eat before I work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my body does not like that anymore. But before, I don't know what was going on, but before I was like, I couldn't do anything. I mean, I bet it goes down to what I was eating, but I would have the shakes and everything, or say I have no energy, or, oh, I couldn't do any workouts before.
Yeah, that's typically because of a diet that has too many refined carbohydrates, and then it sounds like you change what you're eating,
Right.
more vegetables, good quality fats, good quality proteins, and then your blood sugar was a lot more stable.
Yeah.
You can go on those workouts easy, and that's the way I do it too. I work out very early in the morning, and I always work out fasted. And I recommend people try that no matter who you are. Like at least have a 2 to 3 hour window um, before you work out from when you're eating. So don't eat 2 to 3 hours before your workouts.
Right.
You'll go into those workouts more empty, and your
Mm.
body won't be expending energy to digest food. It'll be going towards the muscles and going towards the breathing and doing the work that you're going to be doing. So you get much better results from your workouts for sure, no doubt about it.
Definitely. Yeah, the other day I did an evening workout, and it was like 2 hours after I ate lunch, and I could feel my food right in my throat. And I was like, this is exactly why I work out in the morning.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't like to feel that at all.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal. So that's fasting. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. I'll be around the rest of the day. But are there any more questions that we have?
We do. We have a few questions that members emailed in, so I'll definitely start those off. The first one is from Sherry. She said, I'm so discouraged. Went to follow the 30-day challenge, but so many things are distracting me. Working 40 hours a week, tired in the evenings, no willpower for quick dinners or snacks, not organized on weekends to plan for the next week's dinner. Husband tries to help, but his responses are, oh, a little piece won't hurt. Eating out is so much easier. Any suggestions? I have lost 15 pounds. Congratulations, that's huge. On my original 30-day challenge last year, but I have 35 more pounds to go. Arr.
Are.
Arr.
I think she knows what she needs to do. She just
Yeah.
needs to reset herself and remember why she did this. And I might sound a little harsher, but just take personal responsibility. You
Right.
know, it's easy to get caught up into old patterns and give yourself excuses and say it's hard. I work 40 hours a week. I've got no time. But reality is we have time,
Yeah.
like it doesn't take long to cook a meal. It doesn't take long to, it's not hard to cook excess food so you have leftovers. Um,
Right.
and when it comes to like a husband or anyone you live with or friend or anybody who is trying to bait you into something, that's where the personal responsibility comes into play and say, look, I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
I understand that for you, it may be okay to have that piece of cake or whatever, but that's not what I'm choosing to do. Because I notice that when I have that, I feel bad and I feel tired, which is what she's saying here. So it's really a matter of like self control and taking
Yeah.
responsibility. And I think a lot of people wait for other people to give them permission to get healthy, and say like, well, I can't do this because my husband isn't on board. And I think that's it's the other way around. It's like you take personal responsibility, you get
Right.
better, and then your husband might start saying, I want some of that food.
Yeah.
We make it into this like it's so hard and so difficult to eat healthy, but what happens if you don't change? What happens if you do keep eating old food and stay tired and stay stressful and busy all the time? Like what's your life going to look like?
Right.
Because there's two paths you can go on right now. You can keep doing what you've been doing, or you can go back to what works. You already know it works. You already lost 15 pounds. You just have to
Yeah.
keep doing it. And it's just a matter of recommitting yourself, getting clear on your intention, and putting it into action, and really just taking a stand for yourself.
Right.
Amidst all that stuff, there's 40 hours in the week, so 40 hours that she's working during the week. But like, you know, we have people all in this group that are working 40 hours a week, and it's just a matter of preparing your food,
Right.
making it simple: meat, vegetables, consistency over and over. Use some spices, find something you like, and do it. Any
Exactly.
advice on that?
No, I mean, I completely agree. And I had the same situation when I was out of town last week visiting some family. As everybody was eating the way they were, and they're like, oh, it's not going to hurt, a little bite. And then I stuck with it. I was like, no, I do this for me. And then everyone could see after a while, like, oh, the curiosity came on, like, you are looking good, and oh, you are feeling good, and look how we are feeling. Like in the afternoon, everyone had to go take a nap, and here I was on my computer just working. Like I don't have those afternoon crashes and stuff. So in the beginning, it kind of took a little like them trying to nudge me their way to realize, like, so that they didn't feel guilty that they were eating that way. And then realizing that I wasn't giving in and seeing how I was staying and seeing how I felt, they finally, now they were curious and they wanted to eat the way I was eating because they were seeing how I was, changing. So I definitely think, like you said, you got to go back to your why. You got to go back to why you're doing this and focus on how you are feeling. Like if you notice you do eat something that's bad, focus, like, how does it make your body feel? Is it worth that, 20 seconds of in your mouth joy to feel like crap the rest of the day and feel slumpy and, not performing your best? So if you stick with it and, you're gonna encourage people around you to be curious and ask you questions about why you're doing it. Because in the beginning, they don't want to feel guilty, and that's why they want you to join in with them. But after a while, they're going to be curious about what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it is. I think you nailed it right there. When people see someone else doing something that's good for them, oftentimes it's like a mirror.
Yeah.
And that person looks at that and it's like reflecting back to them, like what they know they should be doing,
Right.
but they're feeling guilty and shame around it. So
Yeah.
they're trying to drag the other person down with them.
Right.
Just be miserable with me so they can have company.
Right.
They can not look at it or face it or do anything, but it's a big deal, and it's like, it's America's problem. It's modern society's problem. So it's a very powerful decision to say, no, I'm going to eat something that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I know the holidays are coming up and everyone's like, well, I feel guilty. People are bringing certain things in that they're wanting me to try. And you can be kind, you can be polite and just tell someone, like, hey, like, I'm not eating it. And, tell them how you're feeling. Tell them, like, I've noticed I have energy, like, share what you're experiencing so people aren't going to make you feel guilty for wanting to eat if they made a piece of cake. Let them know it looks delicious, but you're not eating it. Or, like I said, I put a few tips on the page the other day about different tips, like bringing your own little snack, plan ahead, make something that if you're, because I know at the holidays, everybody has in their break rooms cookies and cakes and, everywhere you go now around the holidays, it's all treats. So plan ahead, bring a treat that you can eat, or, bring veggies or bring snacks or something that you can fill up on first. So there's lots of tips, but like you said, you have to have the will to want to do it. If you want to do it and you focus on how you're feeling, then you're going to want to make it happen because you wouldn't want to lose that.
Yeah, for sure. And there's always healthier dessert options.
Yeah.
We made avocado chocolate cake.
Yes.
So you can try something like that. It doesn't have any toxic fats or artificial sugar or any grains or anything like that.
Right.
Taste even better, and it's healthier. So you can show these people it's possible to live in a healthier way. Because what a lot of people are doing is just they're just using conventional recipes with old ingredients that are not good for us, and they just don't know there's another way. So you can
Right.
show them that way. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. That leads us to the next question, which is a little similar to the last one, which is this one's from Sandy. She goes, my husband doesn't fully buy into the program. Same thing. A little gluten, sugar, cereals, etc. won't hurt. I have him keep his stuff out of my sight. However, he suffers from ankylosing spondylitis. I think he would benefit greatly from embracing the full program and perhaps even the immune protocol. What is a short, very easy, and impactful explanation of why I can counter a little bit won't hurt? Still trying to convert him. Thanks. Love the Facebook Lives.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, sorry about your husband. I mean, that ankylosing spondylitis, for those who don't know, is an autoimmune issue where the spine basically gets rigid, it gets stuck like a
Yeah.
hammer, it just stops moving. I used to work with a lot of patients in physical therapy, and like there was nothing that could be done unless that person changed the way they were eating, right? So like all autoimmune diseases, these are issues that come from the gut, and they typically come from eating foods that irritate the gut, that things like grains, legumes, dairy, all the processed and refined foods, all the sugars, everything we're trying to get away from. Those foods have the potential to irritate the gut, allow harmful proteins to get into the bloodstream. The body perceives that as if it's being under attack, and then an autoimmune disease sets in. It could be any different types of things going on, like fibromyalgia or multiple sclerosis or ankylosing spondylitis. But the root origins of these things are not so much genetics, more of an issue of genetic expression through what's happening with the gut. So, I mean, it's really important for your husband to understand that that part of the situation that he's in is not because that's his lot in life. That's genetics. It's because of his environment, specifically his food environment, where certain genes are being expressed.
Right.
And this goes back to unawareness. Like a lot of people in our culture are unaware that the food they're eating and the environment they're living in is causing many of the problems that they're having. And because they don't have that awareness, they will say things like, oh, you can just have a little gluten, or you can just have a little this, or you can just have a little that. And those foods are highly addictive, and then it becomes an everyday thing, and all of a sudden we come out with these health issues, and we think it's genetics, and we have
Right.
billboards on there that says it's something running in your family, and it's just absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
So I would say look more into, if you I would say give your husband some resources on autoimmune issues and how it relates to health. Sarah Ballantyne is a medical doctor, highly researched person, and she has some great articles that you can give to your husband to look over these things. And for him, I would absolutely recommend an autoimmune protocol.
Right.
A podcast or a video on this 2 weeks ago, but it's essentially a lot like what we're talking about in the paleo diet, right?
Yeah.
Um, Good quality proteins, vegetables, but taking away some of the nightshades like tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, white potatoes, taking away eggs, and just keeping it really, really, really simple, and
Right.
doing that consistently for a period of 60 to 90 days. And I can almost guarantee you'd feel so much better.
Right.
But if he doesn't get on board, he doesn't get on board.
Yeah.
It's just you still got to do what's best for you and take care of you.
Right.
And hopefully after that he'll see the benefits. But I would say Google as much as you can autoimmune paleo, find those resources, share that with him, and then try to get him to become more aware of some of the things that are impacting him in a negative way.
Right. Yeah, like you said, like when she actually goes through it, she should be able to experience and share her explanation about what she's benefiting from. So, I mean, if anything, like if you get him to try just 30 days to like try it, remove all the stuff. If you don't feel any better, then I won't say anything. But if he gives his whole heart for 30 days, I mean, like you said, what does he have to lose? He will gain and benefit so much.
Yeah, exactly. And he's already eaten this way before. He just
Yeah.
hasn't done it consistently
Right.
every meal for a period of time. I always talk about that room of toxic perfume. Like you
Yes.
walk into the room of toxic perfume. You first time you walk in there, you're like, oh gosh, this is really strong. But then you hang out in there, and you all of a sudden can't smell it anymore because you've desensitized yourself.
Right.
Same way, we live in a toxic society, and no one can really tell what toxins are causing all the problems because we're inside this human tank full of toxicity. We got to get you out of that tank, right?
Right. Perfect. Well, thank you. I'm going to jump to the next one. This one is from Sherry. Are local drugstore vitamins and supplements okay? If so, how much turmeric, krill, and magnesium should one take daily?
Yeah, so typically not. But there's different variations of drugstore. Like if you're going to like a Walgreens or like CVS, typically those are not the good kind of vitamins. You know, there's depends on where you are. Like in Austin, we have some places that have really good high quality
Right.
supplements, like People's Pharmacy.
Yeah.
Um, but it's really hard to tell, and there's very little regulation with the supplement industry. You
Right.
know, so that's why we decided to make our own supplements because it was much simpler. You know, we collagen, krill, turmeric. We have a great greens product and a probiotic. We feel those are like the five foundations. And if there's one more that I could recommend, it would be magnesium. You know,
Yeah.
because it's so important for absorption. So I think one of these days that'll be the next one. But as far as how much magnesium, probably 200 to 300. I think it's milligrams a day. Turmeric, it'd be like 1 to 2 capsules. It's just really simple. I would
Right.
say two if you're really inflamed, but one on a daily maintenance basis.
Right.
And krill, I would just say 1 capsule a day. Maybe two if you're feeling inflamed or dealing with anything like that, but it doesn't have to be
Right.
much. I forget the exact dosages on all of those, but yeah, just the standard. You don't have to do anything more than that. I think it's totally fine.
Perfect. Thank you. And then the next one is from Nancy. What lowers LDLs?
So the question I'm guessing comes from a fear that there's a high LDL
Yeah.
and there's association with a risk for heart disease, right? Which is understandable because that's what we've been doing. And for most people who know, LDL is commonly referred to as the bad,
Yeah.
right? But that's not really telling the whole story because within LDLs, there's two different particles. There's a small dense kind called type B, and there's a large puffy kind called type A,
Yeah.
right? And it's a small dense kind that can be problematic. So you really need to find out what that looks like, right?
Yeah.
And LDL doesn't tell the whole story, like I said. You're some other things that I would look at that correlate better to your risk for heart disease would be your HDL to triglyceride ratio. And what you're looking for there is something around 2. Anything around 4 is too high, and like 6 is super high. That's not a good thing to have. And then there's C-reactive protein. That's another good thing to look at for inflammation. And I think there you're looking for something around 1.
Mm.
And there's A1C. That's a great marker to look at inflammation and your risk for heart disease. And for there, anything above 5 is something you should be cautious of. Something in the 4s is where you want to be. Um, to lower your LDL, though, if that's something that you really feel like you need to do, but again, I don't think that you should have the mindset that that's what's lowering your risk for heart disease. You would
Right.
eat less saturated fat, probably, and less animal-based proteins.
Mm.
That's what you would do. Less animal fat
Yeah.
specifically. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And the last question is from Brenda. Brenda says, any suggestions for natural hormone replacement? Had a complete hysterectomy 5 years ago and was on estradiol for 4.5 years. But since I've taken my health into my own hands, I'm seeking natural alternatives. I'm trying the GHG gel, but so far, 3 weeks in, I haven't seen much of a change.
Mm. Yeah. Well, congratulations on getting off
Yeah.
estradiol, just taking responsibility. I think that's awesome. As far as a recommendation, I'd say that really honestly, the best thing you can do is go see a functional medicine doctor who can
Mm.
do their own hormonal panel on you to see where you're at, because that hormonal panel is going to dictate like what gets done in that way, in the most natural way.
Yeah.
I'd say outside of that, and to find one, just Google functional medicine doctor, your area, and you'll find probably a ton of things, and they can help you out. And some of these people are acupuncturists, some of them are naturopathic doctors, just different things that can be done, and they can give you natural supplements that can help you out. Outside of that, I would say really make sure you're eating as clean as possible and sleeping as best you can, and
Yeah.
really get into rhythm with your sleep. And one of the best things you can do to control your hormones is sleep on a regular basis and just regular exercise, getting sun. Like those are the main things that you want to make sure if you're doing no matter what. But outside of that, I would say go see a functional medicine doctor, get a hormonal panel, and you'll get some great insights on what to do.
Wonderful. That concludes all of our questions for today.
Awesome, guys. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully everybody enjoyed that. And if there's any questions at all, just please leave them in the comment section. We really appreciate you guys, and we're looking forward to this new
Yeah.
brand that we're going to be releasing here today.
Yes. Definitely. Thank you very much, everybody. We always enjoy everyone tuning in with us every week. So we look forward to it every week. So keep keeping your questions in, and anytime, like Chad said, if you have any questions about the new change that we're doing, which is very exciting, please feel free to let us know.
Awesome, guys. Have a good day.
All right. Bye, guys.